Area 51. The name alone conjures images of hidden hangars and otherworldly devices. For decades, it's been shrouded in government secrecy. But now, cracks are appearing in the veil. Technology allegedly developed behind those heavily guarded gates has leaked. Prepare to see what they've been hiding. Secret Area 51 technology that got leaked to the public.
Time operations. On November 15th, 2020, well-known YouTube videographers Tim and Tracy of the UFO Seekers channel took an interesting clip shot from outside the restricted Nevada Test and Training Range, or the NTTR. The new video shows some common NTTR activity, including the camo dude, security personnel, the comings and goings of NTTR employee shuttles, and more interestingly, a lot of air activity over the region, especially at night. The video showed what is most likely a significant nighttime special operations tactical training exercise or capabilities tested at the Nevada Test and Training Range. Most interestingly, the scene appears to be lit by a series of LUU-19BB infrared air-dropped illumination flares for use with night vision devices. The video was 20 minutes long and shows a series of bright lights at low altitude as viewed through their infrared night vision video equipment. Visible in the video are a series of orbiting lights around the brighter descending lights. About specific tests and training activities inside the NTTR don't surface often. The US Air Force published an article on October 24, 2020, saying operations on the Nevada Test and Training Range are continuous. When one operation finishes, another is right behind it, ready to begin. The couple also caught a video of security vehicles and a large bus leaving the gated area distantly adjacent from where the action in their video took place. Now, it's impossible to tell what's actually going on exclusively from the video, but whatever it was big and it looked interesting.
Alright, so this next photo is of Jerry Freeman, taken on a forbidden trip back in 1997. And his head here is supposedly covering the area where the secret S4 hangars are, according to the legendary Bob Lazar. So, this guy had quite the adventure close to the forbidden military base, and according to him, he was actually within the restricted area at points, but the exact borders of Area 51 aren't really shared with the public. So, what's the story with this guy? Jerry Freeman, an archaeologist, decided in 1997 that he was going to embark on a 7-day trek into the highly restricted Nevada test site. The funny thing is about this case though, is that he really had no interest in what most of us would want to see behind the Area 51 curtain. He was just interested in tracing back the trail of the lost 49ers, pioneers who had traversed the area in 1849. He was in search of an inscription made by one of the pioneers, which was believed to be in Nye Canyon above Papoose Lake on the Nellis Air Force Base, totally off limits. Freeman spent days avoiding security. He slept with nothing but a blanket and the clothes on his back. He traveled very light, too light. He was running out of water by the end. And the funny thing is that after this dangerous trek, people were asking him like, so did you see Area 51? What's in there? Where are the UFOs, man? And again, just had no interest in that side of it. So he was like, I think at one point I might have seen Area 51. He'd like climbed on a ridge above Nye Canyon looking down on Papoose Dry Lake, which is just south of Area 51. And he was like, yeah, during the day I didn't see much, but one night I saw some lights. One looked like it was coming from a security vehicle. One was kind of stationary, but it seemed to grow and like shrink in size. Could have been a hangar door opening and closing. I don't know, it's an interesting kind of case.
Number 8. Codename Hood. A book by Los Angeles Times journalist Annie Jacobson, Area 51, an uncensored history of America's top secret military base, Little Brown, tells the story of the famous site that has spurred tales and rumors of intrigue and cover-ups. Annie dove through thousands of recently declassified documents to reveal what happened in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s at the government-restricted area near Groom Lake, Nevada. In the book, there were some photos, and for this one, Annie said, the black device attached to this balloon in Area 9 of the Nevada test site is a 74 kiloton atomic bomb codenamed Hood, the largest atmospheric nuclear weapon ever exploded in the United States. Standing on a ladder minutes before this photograph was taken on July 5th, 1957, Al O'Donnell put the final touches on the bomb firing system. Area 51 is over the hill to the right of the device, and on the next page and photo and row, a column of radioactive smoke rises from the Hood bomb. To the right of the mushroom stem, the landscape can be seen on fire. Approximately 1 hour after the bomb went off, security guard Richard Migas drove through Ground Zero to set up a guard post at the Area 51 guard gate directly over the burning hills.
Next up, we have the Boyd Bushman photos. So Boyd Bushman is no longer with us, but he took with him to his grave many tales of the extraterrestrial friends he met as a Lockheed Martin engineer working within Area 51. At least that's what he claimed. In 2007, Bushman was filmed in a video talking with independent aerospace engineer Mark Q. Patterson about his experiences in the restricted area, claiming to have met several aliens, some of whom were hundreds of years old apparently and hailed from planet Quintumnia. Even said some of these Quintumians were employees of Area 51. Held up a bunch of photographs. The video became relatively big, but I gotta say, call me crazy, these pictures look not great. That alien looks like it's from Spirit Halloween. Nothing against Spirit Halloween. I go every Halloween, but not the most convincing. I think Boyd knew he was on the outs. He died not long after this interview, and I think he wanted to go with a little bit of a prank. Can't blame him. In fact, I respect him for it.
Number 6. Gabe Zeffman. Gabe Zeffman, a private pilot and amateur photographer, spent Christmas Day 2020 flying his Cessna 150 plane over Area 51 and snapping just over 1,000 photos. He captured stunning visuals of the Nevada Test and Training Range and Area 51, showing a mysterious triangle shape inside an open hangar. The hangar is just south of the main NTTR complex at Area 51, and the object looks large, although it is unclear. It does appear to be the only hangar that's open as well. In the videos of his flights posted on YouTube, Gabe can be heard getting clearance for his route over the restricted area. Now for this particular flight, he had higher quality photography gear that allowed him to capture better photos. So what's in the hangar? Seems like we may never know.
Coming in at number 5, we have freeze ray guns and laser weapons. Baba Vanga, the famous seer and blind mystic, predicted that there would be a war in Rome in 2045 using freeze ray guns, which, I mean, it does sound kinda cool. A bit. Are they being developed here at Area 51? What a question. I mean, anything's possible, right? A lot of people do actually believe that Area 51 is where the military is creating and testing the next generation of weapons. Energy weapons. Some people think that energy weapons are being tested, including freeze ray guns and laser weapons that could vaporize people in seconds. Listen, just a theory, but maybe Area 51 is home to freaking sharks with freaking lasers on their heads, just like Dr. Evil wanted. Coming into number 4, we have prison. A hidden military base from the 1860s was found underneath Alcatraz. So what if an Alcatraz-style prison is under Area 51? Who's detained there? Allegedly, former Area 51 employee Bob Lazar claimed to have been a scientist at Area 51. Now, he was reported to have seen small grey extraterrestrials being interrogated by men in white lab coats. Another whistleblower known as Victor sensationally appeared on radio airwaves in 1997 to say that he had witnessed alien interrogation when he worked there too. So, is there a top secret alien prison under Area 51? Or perhaps it's just a regular prison but for like really bad people? Okay, sure, at number 3, this is what we've all been waiting for and I'm happy to bring it to you. We have them aliens and their technology. And their spaceships. So where do I even start? Area 51 is absolutely synonymous with aliens. Long before Barack Obama confirmed that there is an Area 51, people were suspecting it to be the case anyway. Since the 1940s, alien conspiracy theories surrounding Area 51 have existed, especially following the Roswell crash. People believe that the crash was covered up and that the wreckage was taken to Area 51 for testing. A number of former employees have come forward to share their experience with grey aliens at Area 51, and others, including former Air Force worker Charles Hall, have claimed that tall white aliens frequent the site and park their spaceships in the mountainside. Hall also claimed that the aliens are in cahoots with the United States government and that they'd share secrets with them and technological information. This is also echoed in an expose by Robert Scott Lazar, who claims to have worked at reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology during his time at Area 51. He also claims that the government and aliens have been working together for thousands of years. Wider claims do say that actually the government is crossbreeding aliens with humans and creating a whole new race of engineered people, which is wild. Coming into number 2, we have the Illuminati, or the One World Government headquarters. So there have been Illuminati conspiracies and One World Government theories floating around out there for a long time. A lot of people think that the human race is governed by a group of elites that secretly manipulate goings on around the world. Conspiracist David Icke even believes that these world leaders are reptilians. A lot of theories are merged into one here, so whatever name we want to give this group of elite, could their headquarters be housed house beneath Area 51. Some people think that Denver Airport could be a possible location for the secret HQ. The reason being is that it's supposed to have a bunch of secret underground tunnels, and it kind of seems convenient that airplanes fly in and out all of the time, so smuggling in the world elite wouldn't be too suspicious. But at the same time, it is for the most part a public place, so perhaps the secret Illuminati HQ is out there in the desert. Finally, coming into number 1, we have diseases and cures. If this is true, then this is very scary for the wider implications. Some people suspect that Area 51 sits on a giant laboratory in which diseases are being fostered for use in biological warfare. But people also think that they have cures for a lot of diseases plaguing the nation, including cancer. That's right, some people think that the United States government is hiding the cure for cancer in Area 51, but will not release it because healthcare makes them so much money. In fact, healthcare is worth over $7 trillion. In 2019, at a rally, Donald Trump claimed that he was basically there with the cure for cancer, and if he gets re-elected, he'll roll it out. How? Well, maybe he'll take a trip to Area 51 and release it from the vaults, but I don't think so.
Starting our list off at number 10, Dark History. This secret base in the Nevada desert acts as the US military hub for spatial engineering, and, possibly, hopefully, some reverse engineering for some alien crafts. The area is named after the geological grid of the desert. The area gained notoriety, of course, in the early 90s, with numerous claims that workers had worked on alien aircraft and even heard of harboring alien creatures underground. The entire premises is fenced off with signs saying no photography allowed, and also use of deadly force is authorized. So whatever they're hiding here, it's mostly military, hopefully with a little splash of ET. The base has been a testing facility for the Air Force and remains one of the most highly secured and secretive bases in America. Number 9. Tickaboo Peak. Say you're watching this video and you want something, right? What's the closest you can legally get to Area 51, right? What's the only way you can possibly see footage of a little alien ship coming and or going? Well, you gotta go to Tickaboo Peak, that's how. Located right in the middle of the Nevada desert, Area 51, of course, is hard to see. This peak could help that problem. Bob Lazar, back in 1989, he spoke out to news outlets explaining how he used to work in Area 51, specifically on UFOs using anti-gravity technology. With this peak being just 26 miles away from the top secret base, you might just see a test flight or two from the bushes. Just like Bob did, right? Number 8. They can't stop all of us. Back in the 1950s, the public wanted answers as well. It was June 17th, 1959. The Reno Evening Gazette published a story with the headline reading, "More flying objects seen in Clark sky." More? What'd I miss? More flying objects? Then the paper even went on to describe how Sergeant Wayne Anderson, a local sheriff, was one of many locals that spotted what the paper described as an object bright green in color and descending towards the earth at a speed too great to be an airplane. Yeah, like a meteor, I guess. I don't know, that's terrifying. What could they possibly be talking about? Number 7, the Gorman dogfight. This one is a classic. A lot of people believe this encounter. This encounter lasted a whopping 27 minutes in the air. A dogfight happened between a veteran World War II fighter pilot named George F. Gorman and a UFO. It was him versus a white orb, and they were both at an extremely high altitude above Fargo, North Dakota. Gorman told a local newspaper following the 1948 event, the experienced pilot said, and I quote, "If anyone else had reported such a thing, I would have thought they were crazy." Captain Ruppelt operated Project Blue Book, a series of studies conducted by the US Air Force between 1947 and 1969, and there's reports of the same dogfight from the ground as well. So yes, there are multiple eyewitnesses for this one. Number 6, Project Aquatone. So we think about aircraft evolution over the last, say, 100 years. Well, back in 1955, Area 51 was selected by the CIA as a testing site for the Lockheed U-2. And if you've seen Top Gun Maverick lately, good on you, great film, 10 out of 10. But if you've seen it, this will tickle your fancy. The Lockheed U-2 was this high altitude aircraft. It was the top of the line technology, and tests were originally conducted over the codename Project Aquatone. Now on June 25th, 2013, the CIA approved the release of declassified documents that details, for the first time officially, the history of the U-2 and Oxcart programs in response to a Freedom of Information Act request, just like we're seeing right now with these, UFO videos online. The release of those documents marked the first time that the US government actually acknowledged the existence of Area 51. And since then, we've been waiting around for another big announcement or something.
Coming into number 5, we have the Roswell rescue. Footage claiming to be from the Roswell fallout surfaced on the internet in 2015 and alleges to show agents holding a alien corpses and taking them on a stretcher. Have a little look. I don't know, it kind of looks a bit sketchy, right? Can we get another look? I guess it was 1947, so we can't expect too much film-wise, but I'm not sure this is quite the smoking gun we were looking for. The video has had around 160,000 views on YouTube, but the like to dislike ratio suggests that some people may not be too convinced as to its authenticity. One of my favourite comments on the video comes from Mr. Saturday Night Special, who wrote, "This has to be real. Everyone knows when you travel across the universe you don't wear clothes, just ask Chewbacca. He'll tell you, you're right. You know what, are we the only species that like to cover our modesty? All of these aliens crashing, like, where are their little alien suits? Come on." Coming into number 4, we have Kodak confirms, allegedly anyway. In 2014, a UFO expert, Tom Carey, was sent images from a woman who wished to remain anonymous, but claimed that she had worked with the Secret Service. The image was reportedly taken at Area 51 following the Roswell crash and seems to show a bug-like alien. Let's have a look, shall we? The image seems to support what a number of people who used to work at the Area 51 have said about the facility, including Robert Lazar and staff members from the esteemed Lockheed Martin firm. But like, seriously, come on, is this an actual image of an alien? Can we trust anything in the age of Photoshop? It seems that Carey thought of that and sent the image to Kodak themselves, who were able to confirm that it was taken in 1947. Again, allegedly. If they sent him a letter saying this, then I haven't seen it. When speaking to the press, Carey said, "What's interesting is that the film is dated in 1947. We took it to the official historian of Kodak up in Rochester, New York, and he did his due diligence on it, and he said that yes, this film strip and the slides are from 1947. It's 1947 stock. From the emulsion on the image, it's not something like's been photoshopped today. If Kodak did call this authentic, I haven't seen any certification." Coming into number 3, we have another alien, of course. In 2012, Chicago videographer Adam Dew received a call from his former business partner Joseph Beeson. He claimed that he had something to show him, and boy did he. Beeson had a private disposal unit sister, and she'd come across a box of photographs that seemed to have been taken by someone close to President Eisenhower. He was in a number of the images himself, as were Bing Crosby and Clark Gable. 2 of the images she had been tasked with disposing were absolutely outrageous. Get a load of them for yourself. That's right, it is a small withered brown body of an alien in a glass case. And this was all among the images of the president, which is pretty crazy. The images were found in the garage of a woman named Hilda Blair Ray near Sedona in Arizona. Now the pair did believe that the images were linked to Area 51 and Roswell. They sent the images to none other than Tom Carey. Tom once again believed that the images looked just like what witnesses had described in the Roswell crash. Let's have another look, shall we? It really does kind of look like an alien wrapped in some kind of cloth, but unfortunately for Tom Carey, the image turned out to be of a mummified corpse of an Aztec child and not a secret leak from Area 51. Our final 2, I have to say, are pretty convincing. It's not alien stuff, but I do think that these are secret pictures from Area 51. Coming into number 2, we have the strange plane. Here's an image of something that looks like a strange aircraft, or something reportedly taken at Area 51 anyway. It is known that the United States Air Force is present at the facility, and several spy planes have been developed there, including the U-2 spy plane and the SR-71 Blackbird, and possibly others like the rumored Aurora project. So, what is the plane in this image? I don't actually know. Could it be one of the alien aircraft that allegedly whistleblower Bob Lazar talked about reverse engineering? Or is it another spy plane? Finally, coming into number 1, we have an image of a secret plane crash covered up. It seems an A-12 spy plane, possibly the one pictured above, crashed in 1963 after taking off from the secret airbase. The crash happened in Wendover, Utah when Area 51 pilot Ken Colmer was testing the plane's subsonic engines at low altitude. The pilot had ejected from the plane crash, after which he was subjected to hypnosis and doping to make sure that he relayed the incident and how it occurred honestly and truthfully. Here are the previously classified images of the crash. Now, as you can see, vehicles raced to recover the wreckage, which was extremely sensitive to the United States Air Force. It seems a government sanitation team was deployed to remove all traces of the spy plane. To me, that sounds very, very strange. So too does it that they kept the images of this plane crash a secret for such a long time. Do you think it really was a spy plane that crashed, or, given the response, something much more sensitive?
At number 10 is the propulsion system. It's been quite the astonishing turn of events when you consider Bob Lazar's claims about UFOs in Area 51. Now, for those of you who might not be familiar with the story, Bob Lazar came forward with some rather extraordinary assertions back in the late 1980s, claiming that he worked at a secret facility near Area 51 called S4, where he was said to reverse engineer extraterrestrial spacecraft. And one of his most intriguing claims was about the way these saucers operated. Fast forward to today, and we've got this remarkable video footage from Commander David Fravor released by the Pentagon, showcasing a UFO doing exactly what Bob Lazar described decades ago, rotating at high speed with sharp angular turns, flying belly first. According to Bob Lazar, that's thanks to the gravity amplifiers along the underside of the ship that Bob had described centuries ago, as opposed to the classic rendition of a saucer flying parallel to the ground as we'd see in Sci-Fi. While Bob and the gimbal video both showed us that while it does have the capacity to fly like a frisbee, it can conjure what's essentially a powerful gravity vortex underneath the craft to pull it at extremely high velocity. Like, if you were inside one of these bad boys at speed, it would feel like you're falling downwards, nearing Mach something. It's one of those moments that makes you question just how much we might not know about the universe and what's happening in the shadows of government secrecy. The convergence of Lazar's claims and the actual evidence is undeniably mind-boggling. If you're enjoying this video so far, you can support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to Most Amazing, and ringing that notification bell. At number 9 is Element 115. The revelations about Element 115, which Lazar insisted was the key to alien propulsion technology, eventually found their place in the scientific lexicon. See, back in the late 1980s, Lazar made waves by asserting that Element 115, or what he called unpentium, was the fuel source for extraterrestrial UFOs he alleged to have worked on at Area 51. Skeptics scoffed as Element 115 wasn't officially recognized at this time. Fast forward to today, and we've synthesized Element 115, now known as moscovium, in a lab setting. But here's the twist. Our most stable isotopes of moscovium have a fleeting existence lasting mere milliseconds. Yet Lazar continues to claim the existence of a stable isotope that powers these otherworldly craft. It's a tantalizing mystery that leaves us pondering the potential secrets lurking within the cosmos and deep within the confines of Area 51. At number 8 is the FBI raid. Back in 1989, during a live interview with George Knapp, Lazar made headlines by disclosing his work at the mysterious Area 51 Section S4, reverse engineering these extraterrestrial craft. He even claimed to have stolen a piece of Element 115, which purportedly powered these spaceships. Now fast forward to 2019, when United Nuclear Scientific, Lazar's scientific supply company, was raided by the FBI. Conspiracy theorists believe that the feds sought his supposed Element 115 samples. Now there are some government-released documents that paint a different picture, but can we trust those? The raid, as it seems, was tied to an unaliving investigation involving thallium poisoning, a substance Lazar's company had sold. The FBI's alleged involvement dated back to early 2016, well before his documentary was being filmed. However, Lazar and the filmmaker Jeremy Corbell contend that the raid was a cover-up story to mask the real intent, which they insist was Element 115. You see, Lazar was cooperating with law enforcement, providing documents and information on thallium sales, leading to search warrants being unexecuted. But just after they filmed this segment where he discussed his possession of 115 for the movie, they enacted a full search warrant on his house and job site. Coincidence? I think not. At number 7, bone density scanners. In a twist worthy of an X-Files episode, Bob Lazar's Area 51 claims seem to have gained some more unexpected validation. Lazar is a man whose assertions about reverse engineering the extraterrestrial spacecraft at the secretive facility have long raised eyebrows, but he's finally found support in the form of a revealing photograph. Thanks to filmmaker Jeremy Corbell's tenacity, Lazar's narrative has been bolstered with tangible evidence. The photograph hails from a classified US government program conducted at Nellis Air Force Range, located in close proximity to Area 51. What's remarkable here is how closely the depicted hand scanner aligns with Lazar's detailed descriptions. Lazar, taken aback by the confirmation, reflected, quote, "I had never thought I would see these again," end quote. It was a biometric scanner, he explained, designed to measure the length of hand bones to grant access to the secretive S4 area. Lazar skeptics now may need to rethink their positions as this unexpected piece of evidence casts a shadow of credibility over his extraordinary claims. At number 6, the UFO models. Bob Lazar's claims about Area 51 have continued to intrigue and mystify us over the years. His descriptions of inside of the UFO are particularly fascinating. He paints a picture of a spacecraft that defies our understanding of engineering. See, the absence of right angles and the fusion of materials hinted an otherworldly origin. What's striking is how his analogy to describe the material which is composed evolved with time, from his initial description as liquid titanium with everything fused together lacking rivets or seams, to a more contemporary comparison to 3D printing, the entire body being composed of one unit. It's like picture a metal 3D printed bus versus an actual bus on the TTC rattling as it rolls because the thing is barely held together with screws. It raises the intriguing questions about advanced technology behind these craft and whether they indeed come from a civilization far beyond our own. Furthermore, Lazar's revelation that each of the 9 UFO at Area 51 had distinct designs is mind-boggling. They ranged from a jello mold-like structure to a completely flat disc, with diversity hinting at a level of technological sophistication beyond anything we can comprehend. And lastly, the notion that at least one of these UFOs may have ties to an archaeological dig amplifies an even deeper mystery. Could these craft have ancient origins, possibly predating recorded history?
Number 5. Virginia sighting. We have to look at some sightings to know what goes on in Area 51, right? If it's spacecrafts or whatever, we've got to look elsewhere for clues. 2 UFO sightings were reported to the National UFO Reporting Center in Virginia on April 4th, 2019, quite recent. At 6:48 a.m., an eyewitness claimed to have seen a light blue circular craft darting across the sky in Virginia Beach headed east. So already you're pumped, right? You're jazzed. Aliens confirmed, right? Then 7 minutes later, an eyewitness at the Norfolk Naval Station, 23 miles northwest, claimed to see what resembled a shooting star with a green glow that never faded. This object also moved without noise and disappeared just like that in 10 seconds. There were 2,348 UFO sightings reported throughout the state between 2001 and 2015. Number 4. Travis Walton, 1975. This horrifying abduction of a local Arizona forester, Travis Walton, take it with a grain of salt. On November 5th, 1975, Walton and a number of others from the logging crew, they were working with timber in the National Forest, and then while riding in a truck with 6 other of his co-workers, they allegedly encountered a flying saucer or a saucer-shaped object hovering about 100 feet away in the forest. It was also making a high-pitched buzz, so it was very, something was going on. Walton exited the truck and ran over curious, and then a beam of light appeared from the craft and blasted him unconscious. The other 6 men were terrified and they drove away before returning moments later in panic to a now vanished Travis. Walton claims that he woke up in a hospital room observed by 3 short, bald creatures, aliens. He fought with them until a more human-looking figure led them to another room where he then blacked out again. Walton claimed he remembers nothing else until he found himself awake yet again alongside a highway 5 days later, naked, clueless of what had just happened. Number 3. Rendlesham Forest, 1980. It was Boxing Day 1980. The forest lies between the military bases of Bentwaters and Woodbridge. Now at 3 a.m., 2 military personnel, John Burroughs and Jim Peniston, they both respond to bright lights in the forest. The radios also stopped working, which is not helpful at all in this case. There was a static feeling in the air as well, and an odd silence. Now the closer the men got, the more they realized it wasn't one of theirs. Peniston was drawn in and he actually touched the craft. It instantly electrocuted him and apparently downloaded him with odd symbols and star maps into his brain before the craft eventually blasted off again. 24 hours later, the craft returned and Deputy Commander Charles Halt is now witness in the exact same spot. Only this time, there are now 3 large landing holes in the grass. Years later, Burroughs and Peniston still ask each other and the British government for their medical records from that night because they never received them. Almost 32 years later and still, they've never received anything. Number 2. O'Hare Airport. The O'Hare Airport incident happened at approximately 4:15 p.m. in broad daylight on November 7th, 2006. The airport received this report that a group of 12 airport employees were all witnessing the same thing. They were all witnessing a metallic saucer-shaped craft hovering still over gate C-17. It was just waiting there for something. The object was spotted by a ramp employee at first, and then it was witnessed by pilots, and then airline management, and then numerous mechanics simultaneously. Air traffic controllers didn't even see the object on radar either. That's the scary part. But in person sat a completely silent, 7-meter wide, dark gray saucer. Several witnesses outside of the airport also saw the object, calling local police and reporting it, of course, because they were terrified. Numerous phone-ins described a disc or a craft hovering above the airport as well for minutes without moving. So everybody saw this, not just airport officials. According to another witness, the object then shot straight up through the clouds at a high speed, leaving just a clear blue hole in the clouds. Number 1. Zimbabwe sighting. In 1996, a mass sighting was witnessed by an entire school in broad daylight in Zimbabwe. Yeah, more than 150 students and staff were all present at this point. There have been tons of documentaries surrounding this exact case. Face-to-face, arm's length with a craft, and also alien beings. Yeah, this is a whole cosmic visit apparently. The children, who are now mostly in their 30s and or 40s, are still convinced. They still stand by what they saw. More than 100 students can still remember what they claim to be telepathic warning from the creatures surrounding our use of technology and the hazards that it has on our planet. So that's cool. Director and writer James Fox documents this infamous interaction in his 2020 documentary, The Phenomenon. Area 51 could be housing UAPs or parts left over from interactions like this one in Zimbabwe back in 1996. Who knows?
Coming into number 10, we have Up Close and Personal with Area 51. In September 2017, YouTube channel UFO Seekers did just that. They sought UFOs. What did they find? Well, you will see. Tim Lee and Tracy Doyle hiked up Tickaboo Peak, a 1.4 mile high mountain 25 miles opposite the military base. The duo used telescopic lenses to get the clearest possible photos of the secret base ever taken from outside by just a civilian. Although you can't see little aliens running around or anything, there are plenty of vehicles to be seen, plus an expansive building and water towers. It isn't too scary, but the video is super interesting, how they got there and everything, and actually it's quite tense. Had they been caught by authorities taking long lens images, then they really could have been in trouble. The video is 18 minutes long, but here is a clip of the YouTubers finding the base. The video has had over 2.4 million views. Perhaps the Kyles are watching it to swat up for their attack planned on the 20th of September. Kyles. Coming in at number 9, we have Even Closer, if you can imagine it. This is one of the closest ever images taken of Area 51. It was taken from a light aircraft and is in the Nevada Aerospace Hall of Fame right now. Here we can see a much closer overview of the whole compound, something that would have been classified just a few years ago. Coming into number 8, we have the airstrip. In 2013, some documents about Area 51 were declassified, although many criticized the response to the Freedom of Information request to having been underwhelming, featuring heavily redacted information. Nonetheless, in 2016, the US did permit Google Earth to photograph the area, which had previously been a no-fly zone. Now you too can view the facility from a bird's eye view. You can check it out and see what's going on, although from very high in the sky. From browsing Google, around 12 miles north of Area 51, there seems to be an unexplained airstrip coming in at around 1 mile long. There is also a visible cluster of buildings at the end of the strip, which is kind of baffling. We've got no idea what's being tested here. According to intel from the website Live Science though, it is thought that the space could be used to test reconnaissance drones. Coming into number 7, we have the Paradise trailers. Area 51 used to be colloquially known as Paradise Ranch in order to make it sound more appealing to families of workers. I suppose it's a lot to ask a person to relocate to the middle of the desert, so why not rebrand the place Paradise and make it sound more appealing? An image has been released of the Paradise era showing a number of trailers at the facility. Is this where families lived, or was it home to aliens? It's kind of cool seeing how things used to be in its heyday, assuming its heyday's over. We just don't know. Alright, coming into number 6, this is the big one. It is the alien autopsy. The alien autopsy was reportedly shot in Area 51 and depicts the aliens that were transported to the facility from Roswell after the 1947 crash. The crash was said to have been of a flying disc UFO and was said to have contained wounded aliens. The video was released in 1995 by Ray Santilli, who said that the footage had been supplied to him by a former military camera technician who wanted to remain anonymous. Obviously. Let's have a little look at the footage, shall we? I mean, that is a dead alien right there, right? But like, is it? The footage absolutely blew up in 1995, but people were quick to call it a fraud. In the end, Santilli claimed that yeah, only part of the footage was real. He said that only a few frames from the original footage were there, but they were there. He also said the rest had been replicated and was a reconstruction of footage he had but was damaged. Sounds likely.
Number 5, the alien interview. So there's actually footage of this one, so yeah, not really photos, but I mean, isn't video better than a silly old still photograph anyway? This footage was shown in a 1997 documentary entitled Area 51, The Alien Interview, and the big selling point here was that you were going to see real footage of Area 51 employees in the S4 facility communicating with an extraterrestrial on camera. The man behind the film, simply known as Victor, narrates through the footage, claiming to be former Area 51 employee and whistleblower who copied the footage, which was taken in 1989 before setting out to share it with the world. So you don't hear what was actually being said in the video. There's no sound other than the mysterious Victor relaying the information over the footage, but you do see what looks to be your classic gray alien moving around and opening and closing its mouth. I mean, if it was just a puppet, there was definitely some effort put in here, and by that I just mean they tried to make it look like it was moving.
Number 4, closest photos of the base ever. In 2017, Tim and Tracy of the UFO Seekers, who was mentioned before, hiked up the 1.4 mile high Tikaboo Peak, a mountain 25 miles opposite the mysterious military base, in order to capture the closest ever pictures of Area 51. From the peak of this mountain, the duo of UFO hunters used a special telescopic lenses to get the clearest photographs of the buildings and vehicles inside the top secret government site. The Area 51 pictures taken show what looks like a water tower, several complexes, and vehicles moving around.
Next up, we have the UFO. In December of 2019, Nevada resident Steve Barron shared pictures and video of this mysterious object flying over a mountain range close to his home. So whatever the object is, looks big. It's far off in the distance, but it's very noticeable and very bright. Definitely doesn't look like the small specks you get in the sky with satellites. It's super bright again, and it moves in a strange pattern too. It doesn't move at one consistent speed or in one single direction. There's a point where it kind of looks like it could be a satellite. It's moving through the sky in more of a traditional pattern, just straight across. But then it stops, starts moving back in the direction it was coming from, and seems to clip along at a good speed too. Like whatever this thing is, it's fast. So I don't know. Could be a drone, I suppose, but you be the judge.
Number 2, the aircraft. A passing commercial satellite seemed to have snapped its top secret next generation combat aircraft on the tarmac of Area 51. Tyler Rogaway of the War Zone was reviewing Planet Labs satellite photos of the high profile secret site when he spotted something outside the ordinary. The highly classified United States Air Force Nevada testing facility is usually especially careful. Air operations are timed out during the gaps between Earth observation and surveillance satellite overpasses. But in this photo, on the taxiway leading through a massive new hangar was a strange shadow. It appears to be a translucent tent. Inside is the outline of what appears to be an unknown type of fighter aircraft. Area 51 is always a popular spot when it comes to publicly available satellite imagery, Tyler wrote. When glancing at daily 3-meter resolution images of the base, we noticed the appearance of a roughly delta-shaped blob on the north apron of the large southern hangar. It stayed there between January 26th and 29th, 2022. So what was it? Why did they make this mistake? I don't know.
Next up, we have the Area 51 entrance. So a few years back, satellite photos were shared online showing what looked to be a possible entrance to the ever-elusive wonder that is Area 51. Someone was cruising around on Google Earth and spotted a road leading to a parking lot by the foothills of a mountain. Now, whatever this road leading to this parking lot was actually built for, it wasn't there back in 1998, where satellite images of the same area showed there to be no road leading to this dead-end area with the parking lot. So what's going on? It is pretty strange. Why have all these roads been built leading to a parking lots in seemingly dead-end areas by the side of a mountain? There's nothing there. It's not like, they'd park there and then walk all the way back down the road to go somewhere else. No, it seems as if there's a secret tunnel that's been carved into the side of the mountain. I think Bob Lazar said something about some mountain facility in Area 51. As for what's going on in there, your guess is as good as mine.
In our number 10 spot, we have the black helicopters. Apparently outside of Area 51, people have spotted black helicopters fly in and out of the area. It is said that this is the home to the government's secret helicopters. Dating all the way back to the 1970s, people have reported seeing these black helicopters. There were rumors that they were to do with cattle mutilation, toxic chemical releases over neighborhoods. But most people seem to believe that those are just stories to cover up what they're really doing, flying the reptilian leaders in and out. Let's be real. In our number 9 spot, we have studying the spacecraft. There have been a few whistleblowers that have worked at Area 51, and these people have stated that the engineers that are working in the testing area are actually reverse engineering alien spaceships. We can assume they are doing this to figure out how the aliens made these shapes and how they fly so fast. Man, that's so trippy. As far back as the 1950s, people have reported seeing unidentified flying objects at the Southern Nevada military base. One of the whistleblowers, named Bob Lazar, has spoken out about this, and apparently while working in Area 51, he saw flying saucers that were powered by an element called 115. And that was years before that element was recorded as found by humans. Imagine working on an alien spaceship and coming across a whole new metal that's not from this planet. And I'm sure they've discovered things that I wouldn't even be able to dream about in my wildest dreams. In our number 8 spot, we have aliens. Okay, so there is no photographic evidence for this claim, but there have been whistleblowers that have said this to be true. Honestly though, anyone else thinking what I'm thinking? Are the aliens being held hostage, or are we being held hostage? Let's be real. Most likely they're controlling us, or the aliens are being held hostage by the reptile people that are already here and running mankind. That's it. I'm out. Apparently though, Bob Lazar has said that he walked down a hallway at S4 in Area 51 and he saw a small, gray extraterrestrial between two men in lab coats through a small window. Apparently he was told by a guard to stop looking and, move along. There have been other sightings of gray creatures in other secret military bases, such as the one in Dulce, New Mexico, in 1979 by a man by the name of Philip Schneider. So, I believe that Bob is telling the truth. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. In our number 7 spot, we have weather control. I've heard about this for quite some time, and I truly feel like if there's something that I could fully get on board with and believe right away, it's the idea that the government controls the weather. Hear me out. First off, being able to do that would be extremely valuable, and honestly, it could make you potentially threatening to your competitors. Don't mess with me, otherwise I will make sure it rains on your country for a full month and all of your crops will suffer. Watch, wars in the future will just be governments messing with each other's weather. That would be wild. If we can make objects fly, if we can send messages through empty space through a phenomena that we call the internet, we call Wi-Fi, we could definitely create a few clouds every now and then. We do have proof though that the government has done research projects to modify clouds in the past, but who knows if there was a conclusion to this experiment, let alone if this experiment took place in Area 51. In our number 6 spot, we have the CIA filings. Apparently, up until 2013, we had no idea that Area 51 even officially existed. In 2005, the National Security Archive at George Washington University filed a Freedom of Information Act about the U-2 spy plane program. And so, in 2013, the CIA was forced to declassify documents that related to Area 51. After this reveal, it became known that the military spent 20 years testing aerial surveillance programs called U-2 and Oxcart, and it also confirmed the existence of Area 51, which the locals would have been able to confirm regardless, but whatever. I could just imagine after the release of this information, all of the locals start connecting the dots about all the missing people in their area and blame it on the aliens. I would love to speak to some of the locals and see what they actually think and say. That would be fascinating. Anyways, they kept Area 51 a secret for so long that there must be a number of darker secrets within it that we don't know about. You can only assume.
At number 5 is Zeta Reticuli. Bob Lazar's claims about Area 51 have fascinated UFO enthusiasts for years. One of his most intriguing assertions was that the flying saucer he worked on came from the Zeta Reticuli star system, specifically ZR3. This revelation is not just another conspiracy theory, with roots in UFO lore dating back to the 1960s. See, the Zeta Reticuli connection echoes through the story of Barney and Betty Hill, who famously claimed they were abducted by aliens in '61. During Betty's hypnosis after the event, she drew a star map depicting their alleged abductor's home. Astronomers analyzed this map for years and argued that it resembled the Zeta Reticuli star system. At number 4, Bob's predecessor. Lazar claimed that he replaced a colleague whose existence met a gruesome end during an incident shrouded in mystery. The circumstances surrounding the substitution remain murky, enveloped in a fog of classified information. Lazar hints at a desperate endeavor of science, an attempt to dissect an alien saucer's reactor while it was running, leading to a tragic fatality. The mere notion of using a plasma cutter on an active alien power source seems recklessly unscientific, inviting speculation about the nature of technology hidden within S4. At number 3, the military made him disappear. One of the most intriguing aspects of Bob's story is the mysterious absence of records supporting his educational and professional background. The absence of proof that he attended MIT or Caltech, coupled with his lack of employment records at Los Alamos National Lab, adds another layer to the enigma surrounding his story. The documentary suggests that these missing records might be a part of a deliberate government effort to discredit Lazar. By erasing his educational and employment history, authorities could cast doubt on his credibility, making it easier to dismiss his astonishing revelations about reverse-engineered extraterrestrial technology at Area 51. They somehow even managed to scrub any mention of his alleged thesis on magnetohydrodynamics. While the missing birth certificate may seem like another element of this conspiracy, it's essential to scrutinize the available evidence and weigh it against Lazar's claims and arrive at a balanced perspective on this perplexing Area 51 mystery. At number 2, the Tic Tac. Remember the Tic Tac encounter back in 2004? Black Aces commander Dave Fravor thought it couldn't be any type of earthly origin, hinting at anti-gravity technology. Interestingly, when Lazar saw the footage, it matched his description of one of the 9 craft in the hangar at S4. Former Pentagon intelligence officer Lou Ezinaldo revealed the military secret study aimed to decipher the physics of these UFOs, suggesting that they rely on exotic metamaterials, echoing Lazar's claims. So what was once ridiculed as conspiracy is now a tantalizing mystery that even the Pentagon can't ignore. We're living in a world where truth is stranger than fiction. And at number 1, how did they even get here? If manipulating gravity with negative matter wasn't wacko enough, according to Bob, who allegedly got all evidence of his degrees scrubbed by the government, he delved into the idea of manipulating the permittivity and permeability of free space to tinker with the speed of light. Yeah, this might sound like science fiction, but it's not. See, recent developments in metamaterials and photonic engineering have shown that we can indeed manipulate these properties at certain frequencies. This revelation potentially opens doors to rethinking our understanding of relativity. Lazar's notion that relativity could emerge from the depths of quantum mechanics is a concept that tickles the mind of physicists. Could light itself be the architect of space-time bridges between distant points in the universe? It's a tantalizing thought. And while we're not zipping across the cosmos yet, Lazar's claims are no longer brushed aside as pure fantasy, leaving us to ponder the mysteries of what we thought possible. As we navigate the mysterious world of conspiracy theories and government secrecy, it's essential to approach such claims with a discerning eye and open mind. While elements of Bob's story have been validated, others remain shrouded in mystery, reminding us that the quest for truth is a complex and ongoing journey.
Alright, coming in at number 10, we have fake clouds. You what? How can you fake a cloud? It is thought that meteorologists at Area 51 are thought to have experimented with cloud seeding in order to help solve the country's water issue. The theory is here that chemicals are dropped into clouds from planes to try and make them produce rain. Like, please rain. Other theories say that science buffs at Area 51 are actually trying to mass produce hurricanes and storms so they can send them as weapons into enemy countries, which I think is a bit extreme. People think that the government could be trying to harness the power of natural disasters. How can an enemy retaliate to a tsunami when they don't know that it was America's fault? I don't know though. So is the government testing weather control at Area 51? Would they unleash controlled weather events across their own country? Maybe. This also kind of reminds me of the whole chemtrails conspiracy theory. Didn't that have to do with something about planes and chemicals? Coming into number 9, we have secret transport. Another theory is that the United States government has created a secret underground high-speed transportation system that runs in tunnels across America. A number of people have suggested that there are high-speed railways underground connecting far-flung parts of the country. Theorists also say that there is a secret runway for planes known as the Cheshire Airstrip. This is named after the disappearing Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. Some people think it is visible only when water is sprayed on it from a certain angle, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense, although to be fair, it's Area 51, we already have a lot of questions. Okay, so speaking about the airstrip, I'm kind of led on into this at number 8. We have space planes. I'm almost certain that there are top secret aeroplanes being developed at Area 51. There have been numerous rumors about spy planes and space planes for years. Back in 1989, people began believing that Area 51 was home to a super fast cutting-edge spy plane called Aurora. They believed it could travel 3 times the speed of a Concorde, which is fast. In recent years, strange sonic booms have been heard across the world, especially in London and New York. They have been linked to secret Area 51 developments. Now people think that Area 51 is the launch pad of space planes that fly to the stratosphere, so not detected on military radars, in order to spy on countries below. Space planes. Coming into number 7, time machines. Has the United States government secretly been working to generate time travel? There have been historic reports of time travelers, example the woman in the Charlie Chaplin movie, the W Man. I feel like I've read so many accounts of time travelers in like The Sun and the Daily Mail, and I can't even. Everyone seems to dismiss them as like fame hungry or just nut jobs, but maybe they are legit. Maybe they're time traveling through Area 51. Also, has anyone seen the movie Hot Tub Time Machine? Because like, I am sure that there is something fun and bubbly we could add to this top secret project. Ooh, taking a nasty turn at number 6, we have nuclear weapons. Is Area 51 radioactive? It seems that the site has been pegged as a possible location for secret nuclear testing. A lot of people believe that the United States government has carelessly tested nuclear weapons around Area 51. We do know that the government carried out over 1,000 nuclear tests between 1945 and 1992. Investigative journalist Annie Jacobson actually uncovered details of a Project 57. She says that nuclear weapons were tested near Area 51 and there was a disastrously lax nuclear cleanup. She claims in her book that nuclear waste was buried in the ground but contaminated Nevada's soil. While the United States is not officially still testing nuclear weapons, some people do think that actually it is still happening, just underground, under Area 51. Somebody's taken a leaf out of Kim Jong-un's book, or perhaps he took a leaf out of America's book.
In our number 5 spot, we have the US military base. Author of Area 51, An Uncensored History of America's Top Secret Military Base by Annie Jacobson, has been quoted as saying that yes, Area 51 is filled with secrets, but these secrets are around creating weapon systems and surveillance platforms that no one can think of, for the US military. Hence the reason it needs to remain a secret so they can one-up their opponent. Annie has gone on to say that if everyone could think of what they were doing, then they wouldn't be doing their job correctly. Apparently, Area 51 is the birthplace of what is called ISR intelligence. Why on earth would they not understand most earthly aircraft at this point in time in the world? They are working on reverse engineering alien spacecraft. I believe it. In our number 4 spot, we have secret disappearances. In the area of Area 51, there have been a lot of reportings of disappearances. Some of young people and some are older. It has been reported that these disappearances are tied to Area 51, as some believe it's the aliens within the base that are taking these people. But most likely, the actual people of Area 51 are taking these people as test subjects, as there is no sign of them ever again after they disappear. That's what I think, at least. Where are they going to, and why is it so often within the vicinity of the base? Questions only the insiders would most likely know the answers to. In our number 3 spot, we have the Nevada Triangle phenomenon. A lot of people are very well aware of the Nevada Triangle phenomena, and we're pretty positive that the people of Area 51 would know the dark secrets around it. From Las Vegas to Reno, Reno to Fresno, and Fresno to Las Vegas, there have been many reports of unusual goings-on. Similar to the famous Bermuda Triangle, people disappear forever. Planes go missing, aliens have been spotted, claims of magical rocks, and so much more. The area and all its mysteriousness continues to be a complete mystery. Within the area is the Sierra Mountains, and if you have seen the new Jurassic Park movie, that is where they keep the major dinosaurs. I bet you the dinosaurs are just a front for the truth. That is where they keep the aliens, obviously. Coming up in our number 2 spot, we have portals to a new dimension. Along with the home base for the reptilian race, people believe that Area 51 actually holds the portal to another dimension, which honestly isn't too far-fetched when you hear about the reportings of the people that have gone near the area in the Sierra Mountains and have disappeared, only to have been teleported to a new area. Yep, these are real reportings from seemingly coherent people. The people inside the Area 51 base would know about this, and if strange things like this are happening in this area, then I bet you that it is not a coincidence that there's a secret government base right smack in the middle of it. Coincidence? I think not, sir. In our number 1 spot today, we have time travel. Along with the portal to another dimension theory, there is also a theory that the people of Area 51 are hiding a time travel machine. That's right. We know that scientists in testing facilities around the world have been playing with speeds that are too fast to imagine. So it is possible that something has been invented to travel time. A lot of people say, yes, this is probably possible, especially with the rise of people claiming that they have time traveled from the future. However, some of their claims have been inaccurate, such as, Donald Trump being the last US president, or that World War III would be in 2015. In any case, if there is a time travel machine, then Area 51 employees would possibly know about it. At least the higher-ups would, even if the employees didn't know what they were working on.
Did you enjoy this video about secret Area 51 technology? Well, if you did, then check out this video about Area 51 photos that were stolen out of there. Wow, we got the photos, we're just waiting on your click.